Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best modded Baldur's Gate 3 subclasses for the Monk. Now, there's a ton of different subclasses that have been added into this game, and I'll be covering all of these here. So we got the Way of the Astral Self, the Way of the Kensei, the Way of the Long Death, the Way of the Sun Soul, and there's many more that are coming soon. So I also can show you just briefly here, there's some different thief subclasses like the Nightingale. The Barbarian here gets the Battle Rager, the Giant, Storm Herald, and the Zealot. And then the Fighter also gets things like the Arcane Archer, Banneret, the Psy Warrior, which is a really fun and powerful one, the Rune Knight, and the Samurai. These are all classes from 5e. But I'll be getting into the Monk subclasses here for this video. So I also have a video posted of the Fighter subclasses that are all modded in, so you can check that out on my channel. I'll have a link in the description there. But yeah, there's a ton of really cool ones here. So we'll just start off with the Monk here, and I'll go through all of these, show you the weapon abilities and extra benefits of each of these. These all come from the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, so some of you may be familiar with these already. But we'll first start with the Way of the Astral Self. So what's cool about this is a monk that follows the Way of the Astral Self believes their body to be an illusion. They see their ki as a representation of their true form in an astral self. The astral self has the capacity to force an order or disorder, with some monasteries training students to use their power to protect the weak, and others instructing aspirants in how to manifest their true selves in service to the mighty. So this gives us the Summon Astral Self as bonus action, and then we can use the Arms of the Astral Self to deal extra force damage, and you can hit multiple people with this, which is pretty cool. And as we level up, we always get the similar upgrades that the Monk itself gets, but we also get some of the cool subclass sub-features here. So extra attack and the Stunning Strikes. I highly recommend using 2 Stunning Strikes per turn if you can. Now at level 6 we get our Visage of the Astral Self, so this is a bonus action, and then we also get the Arms and Visage of the Astral Self, manifesting the Arms of the Astral Self, damaging enemies you can see within 3 meters. So it's a nice little addition to the class. I'll show it off in combat here as well, just to get an idea of what this will look like. This is a really unique one. And we get ourselves all the feats here. I'll just be selecting these just to get through the guide a little bit quicker. Level 9, you get the advanced unarmed movement. Now these all do have a mod that, or these all come with a level 14 edition, but we unfortunately can't access this because the mod for that is broken at the moment. But you also get the Body of the Astral Self, and you have both Astral Arms and Visage summoned. The Body of the Astral Self appears, granting you additional benefits, and then you also get, you have these here as well. So I'll show off what this looks like. It's pretty cool to get these extra benefits, and then just take the Fleet perk. Now, what's nice about this is the extra things that you can do here. So you can summon in your Astral Self as a bonus action, and then you can go with the Arms of the Astral Self, Visage, or the Arms and Visage. So these each use 1 key point, R2, and then once you use that, you're going to have your Astral Self form here, and then we get additional benefits. So Empowered Arms, whenever you hit a target, you deal additional force damage, and we also attack with greater reach. So get this cool effect on us here. So I guess I'll remove my weapon there just to do an unarmed strike, and just show you guys what this will look like. So you can do strikes from a bit of a further range than usual. You can see there we have quite a good range, and it deals force damage in addition. So pretty cool. And then you can go with your Topple of Blows as well. So you got lots of options there. They do force damage, which is really nice, and additional 1d8 force damage. So this one isn't like overpoweringly broken. You get this nice Astral Self form for up to 100 turns, so it doesn't go away very quickly. And uses Wisdom modifier to make strength checks and strength saving throws. Can use unarmed strikes with increased range, dealing force damage. Can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, up to a distance of 36.5 meters. Has advantage on insight and intimidation checks, and can use your reaction to reduce an elemental damage by 1d10 or 1d102. And once per turn, can deal an additional 1d8 force damage when hitting an Astral Arm attack. So yeah, lots of extra damage there, which is really nice. And dealing force damage can have a lot of synergy if you have a team that likes to set up ice. So yeah, this is a pretty cool one. And you also can make additional unarmed strikes to deal even further damage there. So this is a pretty cool one, but I'll be showing off some of the other ones there. You do get that glowing around your character, so pretty nice little addition here. I do want to mention these are all available on Nexus Mods. Hopefully they will come to the base game itself and the mod manager that's in Baldur's Gate 3, but Next, we going over the way of the Kensei, which is one that a lot of people are extremely excited for. So what this does is allows you to use weapons. So the way of the Kensei train relentlessly with their weapons to the point the body becomes an the weapon becomes an extension of the body. Founded on a mastery of sword fighting, the tradition has expanded to include many different weapons. So with this, we get to choose a Kensei weapon. And after making an unarmed attack with a monk weapon, which we can change what our monk weapons are with this, allowing for pretty much the most freedom of builds possible for a monk. You also get the agile parry when you make an unarmed strike as part of a weapon action. On your turn, you're holding a Kensei weapon. You can gain a +2 to armor class until the start of your next turn. So that's pretty cool. You can parry attacks with that. You also get the unarmed strike kick. So you can do this while you're using a weapon. You can still do unarmed attacks. And you also have the Kensei shot, which allows you to do additional 1 to 4 range damage with Kensei weapons. So you got your option here. You got many different options. So depending on what you want to use for your weapon, like long swords, battle axes, daggers, they all get added to becoming a Kensei weapon. So depending on what you want, we'll go with just a trident for the fun of using like a tavern brawler build, which is pretty strong because you can throw the trident as well. You also get to pick Kensei weapons here. There's things like darts, which aren't weapons typically you'd find, hand crossbow, longbow, short bow, and slings. Slings and darts did get cut from the game. They were anticipated to be in it, but we'll just go with hand crossbows just to show this off. And then we get an advantage, or get a skill proficiency in performance. So this is a really cool one. Getting ourselves another feat here, so we can just go with that. What's nice is this balances between weapon attacks and unarmed strikes. So if you want to kind of balance between these two, I know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to this one. We also get the magic Kensei weapon, so your weapons count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical damage. And you also get the death strike. Once on each of your turns, when you hit an enemy with a Kensei weapon, deal an additional 1d6 of damage. And we get to pick another one here, so we can take even things like battle axes, great clubs. You name it, whatever you want to go with, you got your option. You can choose ranged ones if you want to. We'll go with long swords there, just for theming purposes. And level 7, we get all the same benefits of the open hand there. And we get an additional key point there, so go with that. And then once we get to level 9, we get our unarmed movement. Level 10, we get another key point, and unarmed movement increases immunity to poison. And level 11, we get this. So we get our sharpen the blade. So this basically grant non-magical Kensei weapon to a bonus attack and damage roll equal to the number of key points you spend. So if you have a weapon that's not magical, you can use this to make it magical. So again, opening up your build to freedom, and you can choose whether it does main hand or offhand. Now, most people are going to use magical weapons with this build, so Sharpen Blade doesn't end up being super fantastic, but we do get to pick another type of weapon here, so you can go with whatever you want there. And then level 12, we get ourselves another feat, so you know the deal with that. But basically what this looks like is we get the ability to attack with a weapon. So once we pick a weapon so this is a katana, this fits in with our Kensei weapon, so now we're wielding a Kensei weapon, and we can use our abilities, so things like the Kensei shot. So I'll put the hand crossbows on because that's what we got for our Kensei weapon there. So basically with this, you can use your Kensei shot to increase your ranged weapon attacks, which is kind of a nice thing with a bonus action there. And just increase the overall damage. But we also get our unarmed strike, allowing us to attack while we're wielding a weapon. And then we can also just attack with our Kensei weapon there too. So that is a nice thing about that. We also have some pretty cool animations with that sword there. I also got the Death Strike, so you can put the Death Strike on, increasing your damage. And this doesn't require anything other than key points, so whenever you have your Death weapon on, you deal additional weapon damage. So again, these aren't too overpowered. You do get some nice little bonuses there. And then you can also kick, so that's a cool thing. You got your weapon and you can kick. Shadowheart obviously disproves of that. But this build looks really cool. Like, the animations are awesome. Using katana and then being able to kick and attack like that is pretty sweet. So yeah, this one's pretty fun, and one that a lot of people enjoy playing as. So this one is pretty useful. I like the way of the Kensei personally. You also can use Sharpen the Blade to increase your weapon to a +2 if you wanted to. So there is that. It says +2. It should be up to +3, but unfortunately I don't have that in there. So another nice thing about that class is you get, again, freedom to play it how you want. If you want to be a monk that also uses weapons, you can go right ahead, and you get all the benefits of being a monk as well. On top of that, you also get the benefits of being a martial class. So lots of unique ways to play about that class. And then the last one here was, or I guess we got the Way of the Long Death and then the Way of the Sun Soul. So with this, we get the monks of the Way of the Long Death are obsessed with the meaning of the mechanics of dying. They capture creatures and prepare elaborate experiments to capture, record, and understand the moments of their demise. Then they use this knowledge to guide their understanding of martial arts, yielding a deadly fighting style. So when we reduce a creature within 1.5 meters of us to 0 health, we gain 5 temporary hit points. So we will get some more benefits down the road, so this isn't just what you see there. The Way of the Kensei probably be my favorite of these, but not to say that these ones aren't powerful in their own right, especially if you roleplay it. And these also get benefits at level 14, which I can't show at this time. They also get the Hour of Reaping, which creatures that you can see have become frightened. Creatures that can see you become frightened. They have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls and cannot move closer to you for 2 turns. Wisdom save. So pretty nice. In a 9-meter radius, that's huge. That's probably one of the biggest benefits of this class, is getting all those, the ability to frighten creatures from distance. So that's really nice. So let's continue along with this. And then we get our depths, or unarmed movement, and then immunity to poison, extra movement, and then at level 11, we have the Mastery of Death. If you drop to 0 hit points, but you have a key point, you regain 1 health point instead of being down. So that's really nice. This is basically Death Ward, and this will stack multiple times. If you're an orc with a half orc with this and with Death Ward, you're going to keep coming back up multiple times. So unkillable. It's a pretty cool one. And then again, we'll just take that there. I'll show it off and what it can do. So the ability to frighten targets being its biggest benefit, and then we can remove our weapon there. So we can do our unarmed strikes. And then in addition, yeah, we got our Mastery of Death active there. So the Hour of Reaping is pretty cool. We unfortunately won't be able to hit anyone with this, but I'll just show you what that looks like. Oh, we did frighten everyone. So that's pretty good. We got 4 out of 5 frightened with that, and it hits in a huge area. So that is huge. It's a class action, so you can continue to use it, which is really nice. We frightened everyone in this area, so that's pretty cool. Being able to apply frightened on targets is huge. So yeah. Oh, wait, what was that for? So yeah, this one is a pretty fun subclass, and while not as strong, I don't think, as like Open Hand. Obviously, the Open Hand Monk being the most overpowered in this game, it's still a pretty fun one. So I'll show you the Way of the Sun Soul next, which is the final subclass that we've shown off in this video. So playing through as a monk here. Now for the armor, if you're curious, this is the black leather armor from the Basket Full of Armor mod, and I'm using a hairstyle that's also in the Tav's Hair Salon mods. So yeah, you can get those if you want. Now, the Way of the Sun Soul. These learn to channel their own life energy into searing bolts of light. They teach that meditation can unlock the ability to unleash the indomitable light shed by the soul of every living creature. You get Radiant Sunbolt, which hurls a searing bolt of magical radiance, and the Radiant Sunbolt bonus attack, hurling a searing bolt of magical radiance. So nice extra radiant damage there, which can be repelled back towards you, so that's one thing to keep in mind if you're playing through. You can get hit back in Act 3 with it. So the extra attack, again, level 5 being a big power spike. Now level 6, we get the Searing Arc Strike, which each flammable target is hit with fire damage based on the amount of key points you spend, so you can upscale that and do a little bit more damage. So that's pretty cool. Level 7, we get ourselves all those benefits there. Level 8, we get our second level Searing Arc Strike, upwards of 5 to 30 damage, which is actually getting to be pretty good in terms of damage output. And then level 9, we get our increased movement speed. Level 10, we get the Searing Arc up to 6 to 36 fire damage. So again, further increasing the amount of damage that we can deal. At level 11, we get the Searing Sunburst, which is 2d6 of radiant damage, and hurl an orb of light that erupts into a devastating explosion that increases in damage based on the amount of key points you spend. So fire and radiant damage being its most common damage types. And then at level 12, we get the 7 to 42 damage on our Searing Strike. Pretty good damage overall. So I'll show you what this looks like now in combat. And this is a pretty cool one. You must have previous attack with Searing Sunbolt. So yeah, these can only be done after you take an action. So what's nice about that though is it allows you to get in there and punch. So I do have a Strength Potion active, but I don't have Tavern. I should have taken Tavern Brawler to show off what this truly can do. So the damage output, if we had Tavern Brawler, would be a lot higher. I should have taken that just to showcase it. But once you do an attack, you follow up with that, and then for some reason that didn't count towards. It's probably because they're not enemies, so it doesn't trigger that. But Typically, you'd be able to do a Radiant Sunbolt bonus attack, so you can attack with that and then follow it up with that. And this makes an attack roll. Searing Sunburst, hurl an orb of light that erupts into devastating explosion, and you can upscale that to do upwards of 8d6 damage, and that's pretty good. So we'll throw that ball there, boom, extra radiant damage, and light some things on fire too. But with the Searing Strike, you must do an unarmed attack in order to be able to trigger that. And I don't know if it'll allow me to, so I'll just show it off on Duke Ulder Raven Guard here. So critical hit, and he's gonna run away, of course. Oh, I was able to stop him there, so we can chase after him, and then we can follow up with the Searing Arc Strike, allowing us to upcast that. And I don't want to hit scratch, but I just want to show this off. I got counterspelled, so hey, probably in my best interest there. But this is a pretty cool subclass, dealing with mostly radiant and fire damage. So if you're going to use like the Gloves of the Belligerent Skies, or if you want to focus on radiating orbs, this would be a perfect build for it. So there's a few really cool monk subclasses in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know which one of these you're most curious to play, and hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.